it's, you know, you got a little taste of it last time, but I'm gonna hopefully produce a better recording. We'll see, because they changed the technology on me, so I'm working with what I got. So go to my website, click on technology assignments, brings you to this area. You open the first file, which is the Google Doc, make a copy of that. So file, make a copy, hit OK. You can rename it in the process if you want, but when you rename it, make sure it's your last name. Leave it as tech assignments. Anything that points to linear algebra, that's fine. Fall 2019. All right, so this is the clearinghouse for all the web links. All right, so that's that. The original file, you're not using that because that's a read-only. All right, you make a copy of it. The new copy of it is yours. All right. If it doesn't automatically change the file name, do a quick copy-paste and paste your new title in as the file name. Makes life a little bit easier. Then right after you do that, not the worst idea in the world, to share it with me, tcan290 at gmail.com. All right, and give me permission to edit. All right, and you hit send, and I get a notification. All right, so that part is taken care of. You've already submitted your assignment. All right, I'm not going to go looking to take off points like, haha, you submitted a blank assignment, loser. You know, like, here's your 0. Tough luck on you. That's not how it's going to work. I'm going to wait until it's complete, and then I'll grade it. All right, offering feedback along the way. All right, so then you click on Tech Assignment A, and if you want, Tech Assignments B and C. And I always had it in my mind that I'd put a bonus tech assignment in there at some point. But I've been saying that for solidly a decade, and I never got around to creating one. I really feel like this is the semester that's going to happen, that there's going to be a bonus tech assignment in there. So when that happens, because I'm going to commit to that, when it happens, I'll let you know in class, and then there'll be a tech assignment D, or maybe I'll just say bonus tech assignment. You know, it'll be very clear that there's not just 3 anymore. There's a 4th thing. What's that all about? All right. So you click on Tech Assignment A, it brings you to this. So what you need to do is go to Geogebra, create an account if you don't already have one, and then the default is to bring you to geogebra.org/graphing. And in fact, I just tried this for giggles just now. If you go to New in your Google Drive, click on More, and go to Connect More Apps, type in Geogebra. It'll bring up an option to actually connect Geogebra to your Google account. All right, so then you can go through your Google Drive and access it that way. All right, I already did it, so there's no option to actually connect it because I've already connected. All right, the default is actually to bring it to this interface, which is just 2D graphing, but what we need is 3D graphing. All right, so quick adjustment could be to just change your URL to 3D, or you can click on the waffle and select 3D. Either way should work. Yes, I want to leave the site. I had you saw that little alert that said we hit a snag. I thought my whole video is going to be derailed. It was like, this is going so well so far. Please don't do this to me right now. All right, so anyway, I'm all set. I have the T in the corner here, which means that I'm logged in. So that means that I'm not going to have to worry about losing all my hard work after I did it all. All right, you don't want to go down that road. So I could start doing what I want to do, but you could also, if you're in doubt, just go ahead and start the save process right away. You know, Tech A, part 1. You know, and just save it. Just so it's ready to rock and roll. So that like every time so you already have a title accounted for. So every time you go to hit save, you don't have to worry about the title part of it. All right, these are a lot of the stuff I'm saying is like the common sense stuff of a person who just generally does not want to lose files that they've worked on, right? For me, it's a little bit more personal because I have been working on something when somebody accidentally stepped on a power strip and I had not been repeatedly hitting save and I lost lots of things. So it hurt. It hurt real bad. So anyway, I'm going to type in coordinates 1, 2, 3, order triple. I'm going to hit enter, and you can see that that automatically gets defaulted as coordinate or point A. Right? If you wanted to call it something else, then you would make the change either initially, type in like P equals and then the coordinate, or do what I just did and then go back and change the A to a P. But in this case, I want it to be A, so it's fine. So the second one I want to be B. That's next on the list, so it's fine. The only time you might run into an issue with the whole alphabet thing is if you wanted to create point I, because I is reserved for imaginary numbers. So like if you wanted to designate something as a lowercase I, GeoGebra is going to have a problem with that because it's like, whoa. I is equal to the square root of negative 1, so you can't just say I is something else now. All right. So I got my second point in there. U equals vector A and V equals, now the default for vectors is to start with U and then go to V and so on, but I started writing U equals and V equals, so there's nothing wrong with that either. So I got my two vectors. All right, now step 4 in the process, which is really step 2 actually in GeoGebra, is a preview of tonight's lesson, talking about linear combinations. Right? So you're going to get a look, and this is one of the reasons why I'm going over this now, but the other reason is so you know how the hell to do it. W equals A times U plus B times V. Beginning of the alphabet, GeoGebra assumes is representing constant values, but we haven't defined A and B. So when I hit enter, it inputs, and I know it's kind of hard to see. I don't want to close my my keypad here because I haven't figured out whether I need it yet. But if I scroll up, you could see that a slider for A and B were automatically created. So that if I were to scroll along each of those sliders, that would impact the shape of that brand new vector. All right. All right. So in number 5, construct the plane that contains vectors U and V. Now here's a question. Does W span the plane defined by vectors U and V? Why not? So here's what I'm going to do, assuming that this will work. I believe it will. I'm going to take that question, and I'm going to pop it right in here, because where it says write up if applicable, well, it is applicable. I'm going to pop that in there. And then immediately recognize the typo. Y slash not. That doesn't make sense. Why or why not? Better. So if somebody wants to claim that, you're more than welcome to. So I can clean up my files. But yeah, this question needs to be answered. So you're going to answer it in the Google Doc, which has already been shared with me. So any adjustment you make in real time, I'll get the change. That's probably over explaining something, but If you didn't know anything about Google Docs, now you're probably learning more than you ever wanted to. All right, so what I need to do in order to create a plane is I need 3 points, really. So if you have a point and 2 vectors, that gets the job done. But if you have 3 points, that'll do it too. All right, so I'm going to create the additional point, which is at the origin. So C equals, it would have defaulted to C anyway, but I'm typing it. And then plane point vector 1, vector 2, and hit enter. And now you have a good looking vector right there. Now it says to animate your sliders for A and B. Now that just sounds like, whoa, what are you asking us to do here, pal? We didn't think we were coming into a programming class. I'm not a programmer, so if anything seems like it's going to be really advanced computer science, just remember who you're dealing with. It's not advanced. You just hit the play button. All right, there's 2 of them. So hit the play button. All right, and then this is for your own benefit. Grab your screen, just click anywhere and just start dragging around and just observe what's going on here. Really, all you're being asked to do, and I'm kind of giving you the answer here, and by kind of, I mean I'm really almost certainly giving you the answer. It's asking, is that vector going to live in that plane regardless of what A and B are? Now, as I'm scrolling around, now my projector isn't the greatest thing in the world. On my screen, it looks fabulous. A little iffy on the projector. All right, so when you do it on your own, depending on the device that you use, it'll be, I would say, either more or less clear, but I'm banking on it being more clear. All right, so the idea of span is really just talking about, does it work its way through the given plane? All right, the plane defined by vectors u and v is the plane that we generated. W is the linear combination of u and v. All right, so basically, does it look like that vector is going to reach all parts of that plane? I mean, based on what I'm seeing, solid chance that it's a yes. If it deviates from that plane, that could be okay, as long as it touches every aspect of that plane. Now, if it, let's say you have a vector that covers every part of a single plane, but then somehow deviates off and then grabs another plane. As long as it covered the first plane, it doesn't matter. It has spanned that plane. Whether it spans like 10 other planes too, that's immaterial. The fact that it spanned this one plane is really what we care about. All right. So, I mean, span is a weird word, but I just kind of look at it. I mean, you're mopping the floor. That's what spanning is talking about. The floor is the plane. The mop is the vector. Can that mop reach all parts of the floor? Like, are you going to be able to clean all of the floor? Yes. Then the vector spans the plane. No, then it doesn't. All right. Now, that mop could be used to clean the ceiling. That's kind of gross. It could be used to clean the walls. That's gross too. Windows, etc. I didn't really care about that. It was the floor that was the important thing. Right? Can it clean? Will it clean all parts of the floor? Absolutely. All right. So that's really what we're getting at. You paint's a good analogy. I like the paint analogy. I got enough paint to definitely cover that back wall. All right. But I also might have enough paint to get the side wall too. Right? But I've been hired to paint that back wall. The vector spans the plane if I can paint the entire back wall. Now, if I can also paint the sidewall, that's a bonus, but that's not part of the job. I'm giving them something extra. I'm throwing it in. I'm throwing in a free car wash with a full tank of gas. That's all it is. All right. So The question is, how do you save this? We talked about that, yes. Save, save, but then share. All right. Export image is one thing. You could get me a static image. That's not really what I'm looking for because I've had it happen before. It's it's not one of my favorite moments ever where, and I'm cursed. And this is the thing. I'm cursed with a photographic memory. It's not an eidetic memory. I wish. Like I could just remember everything at all times, but I remember images, and they stand out in my mind. So when one person submitted a screenshot of their work on Geogebra, and three other people across three other classes submitted the same screenshots, it stood out in my mind. It was like, and they all said the same thing, which also stood out in my mind. So that kind of helped. Um, yeah, I couldn't get the links to work, so I just sent you a screenshot. All right. So now I gotta tell every future class that I ever teach this to the same story. There was one time that a bunch of people tried cheating on a GeoGebra assignment, and because of that, we can't do screenshots. Thanks a lot, person A, B, and C. All right, so this is what you do. You click share. It'll present you with a link. It'll also save in the process, which is kind of nice. I mean, oh, an extra save, who cares, right? Copy that. Paste that after your little explanation or before it doesn't matter. Just don't mingle it in with your explanation. I'll put it before. Paste it right into your Google Doc. Anonymous Beaver, apparently. And then move on to the second part of the assignment. All right. This is one of those things where if you can handle the first part of the assignment, if you get past that first part, I have 100% faith that you'll be able to easily handle the second part. All right, because again, it's line commands. You're just typing in what you see. All right. Once you get to number 7 on the second part, it does involve a smidge of thinking, but once you get to that point, I don't think it's going to be arduous thinking. All right. So you put your link in for the first part, answer the question, then move on to the second part, and then also copy your link in there. And then once you do that, all I'm looking for, link, answer to the question, additional link, and then that's the end of it. All right. You've already shared it with me because that's the first thing I'm suggesting you do, so problem solved there. All right. And then, like I said, if you want to go on to tech assignment B or C, and just kind of forecast the rest of your semester. I don't know what your course load's like. If it's a heavy course load, things are going to get crazier as time goes on. Maybe this is the quiet time of the semester. If it is, then bang these bad boys out now. All right. But if this is the only class you're taking this semester, then you could spread it out. But you be the judge of that. All right. The dates they're all up on the website, so you know when everything's going to be due, or at least they will be. The first one is anyway. All right. So that's that. Let me